Hi you guys, it's Amanda with Healthy House on the Block, and I'm here with another weekly video and tip on creating an indoor space that truly supports your health and wellness. This week we are going to break down the science of what body burden is. I have talked about it for a while, and it comes up often in a lot of these videos and my blog posts because it is truly what is making our bodies sick. And so we're going to talk about what body burden is, how you can give your body the space that it needs to naturally detox, because the truth is our bodies do detoxify constantly, but if we don't give them the appropriate space where they can do this naturally, we become burdened down by toxins. And so we're going to break all of that down. I'm going to take you through some slides for the next 10 to 15 minutes, and we're going to go through everything that you need to know about your home and how it's affecting your body and creating a toxic burden on your physical well-being. So to be completely honest, the word toxin is truly everywhere, and body toxins are starting to become more understood by all of us. Most of us know about eating healthy and eliminating toxins in food, and we know that exercise and reducing stress are another way to eliminate body toxins. But when it comes to our home spaces, it gets a little confusing. Our homes have become one of the most toxin-filled places that we spend time in. And unfortunately, many of us also, it's the place where we spend the most time. Chemical toxins within our home start to add up over multiple exposures, and in many cases, daily exposures. Over time, most of us will experience some form of body burden due to body toxins from our environment. But as always, the good news is that by reducing toxin exposures and doing your best to eliminate these toxins from your home, your body will quickly start to heal. So what I have learned over the past few years from other experts and through doing my own research is that unburdening our bodies has lasting positive effects on our immune system specifically. An immune system that is burdened and working overtime cannot protect us the way the immune system with fewer toxins and chemical exposures can. And it's one of the reasons I have decided to take the steps to create a whole living approach to health. Using my home to promote wellness and create a healing environment is key in my journey to a healthier home. So in this week's video and post, you'll learn just what body burden is and how body toxins affect your individual systems. Plus, you won't want to miss the big toxins that contribute to body burden that I'm going to mention in a few minutes here. And if you are ready to take the next step to reducing toxins in your home, you can sign up for my Healthy Home Blueprint course, which is opening up in March. So let's get started. You might be wondering, obviously, what body burden is and which body toxins cause this issue. It's mostly just what it sounds like, something that puts a burden on your body. So specifically, chemicals, a toxic substance, or a radioactive element. It means these chemicals and toxic substances are building up in the body to a concentrated level, and that in turn is affecting the function of our body's systems. So in terms of body burden, our bodies are like a cup. Chemicals and substances fill up the cup, and over time, the cup can actually overflow. And the overflow means the cup is filled to the brim with these substances and chemicals, and it's spilling over into other areas. The other areas that become affected are seen through a variety of symptoms such as allergies, fatigue, skin conditions, asthma, general pain, and even like brain fog. So while all of these symptoms are troublesome, a lot of them can be linked back down to a suppressed immune system. A study that I share in this week's post about a variety of toxins and chemicals is fascinating and extremely in-depth regarding the toxicity of chemicals and how they suppress the immune system. I also am sharing another study that shares a phenomenon of chemical pollutants that have been accumulating in the environment and the foods we eat since World War II. So thinking about this length of time, it's easy to see how these toxins and chemicals can build up in our own bodies, even when they've already built up in the environment we live in. And what's even more troubling is that exposure, even while in utero, can lead to adult disease over time. And I also link that specific study in this week's blog post if you're someone who likes to read those. So oftentimes the root of many problems comes from a suppressed immune system. The immune system, which consists of white blood cells and other lymphatic components, provides immunity to the rest of the body from bacteria, viruses, parasites, and tumors. And the immune system helps the body know the difference between its own cells and tissues compared to foreign cells and substances. So this means the more foreign cells and substances that are in the body, the harder the immune system has to work in order to protect the rest of the body. Anything from carcinogens to heavy metals has to be identified by the immune system, and then it must actively protect the body from that substances. So the more substances, the harder the immune system has to work. If your body is working overtime to protect you from things in your everyday products, it's really never getting a break and can become suppressed and weak over time. So body burden can come from a number of different chemicals. And specifically, the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, has actually reported that the average person in the United States has at least 212 chemicals in their blood and urine. So these chemicals come from everyday products that we use all the time. Plastic containers, toys, makeup. It can also come from mold toxins, heavy metals, pesticides, and solvents. And unfortunately, many of the products we use are not necessarily tested for safety. What's more is that they're regularly approved for consumer use despite their potential health effects. And we're going to talk about each and every one of the big contributors to body burden in our home. So cleaning products have everything from harsh solvents intended to clean to synthetic fragrances that actually mask the solvent smell. There's also bleach and components like phosphates that can cause long-term damage to our nervous and lymphatic systems. So you want to choose a healthy and plant-based product that you aren't being greenwashed by before you bring it into your home. Toxic mold is an organic toxin, meaning it's naturally occurring. So while it isn't necessarily a chemical, our bodies see it as a foreign stressor. And what's more is that toxic mold can begin to make its home in our lungs and airways, causing even bigger problems if it becomes airborne. So keep your indoor air humidity levels between 35% and 40% and be really diligent about reducing moisture intrusion at home. Plastics contain phthalates and other synthetic chemicals that have a long half-life. So this means that they stay in the body for really long periods of time. And when these stay in the body for long periods of time, it becomes difficult for the body to function as normal and it becomes extremely burdened. This is particularly true when plastics are heated with food or the food we eat is touching them. So you want to make a plan to swap out plastic food storage and dishes from your home with either glass, stainless steel, or silicone. Dust in your house is actually more than just skin cells, which I know is already really gross. It's also fibers from clothes and upholstery, and house dust can contain bacteria, pesticides, and other chemicals we use in our home or bring in from the outside. So pesticides are a huge source of body burden and should be avoided at all costs. You'll want to start a weekly routine to dust and vacuum and stand firm on a no shoe policy in your house. And then there are synthetic fragrances. These chemical concoctions are just that, chemicals. So oftentimes we don't even know what's in these formulas due to trade secret regulations. Synthetic fragrances are just about everywhere, and they also stick around for long periods of time once they're in our bloodstream. So in your own home, you're going to want to get rid of all scented products unless you are 100% sure the fragrance is from a natural essential oil. And even then, some people can be sensitive to these, so you'll really want to know your own body and your family's preference on scents in your home. Now, formaldehyde in furniture, it's in home materials and glues that we use in home building. It's also been found in cleaners that we use around our home, and formaldehyde is a known carcinogen, and our immune system works on overdrive to protect the rest of our body from this chemical. So one way to reduce formaldehyde in your home is to change out big things like furniture, flooring, and if you can't, what you can do is use a high quality air purifier to help reduce toxins in the air and replace the filter or clean the filter regularly before you can replace some of those other things like flooring and furniture in your home. And then personal care products. These contain a variety of ingredients that affect our body. Most often, they have a direct route to our bloodstream as we are using the product directly on our skin. And once it enters our bloodstream, the synthetic chemicals stay for long periods of time, traveling through our system and affecting different areas of our body. You'll want to cross-reference your products that you're using on yourself and your kids. You can check them through a third-party app like Clearya, EWG, Think Dirty, Made Safe. There are a handful out there that are very helpful for this type of checking before you bring it into your home. So the 7 areas that I listed above are a great place to start. And making a plan to change doesn't have to be super complex or overwhelming. Just remember that each change you make is a step in the right direction, and it gives you a little bit more control over your own environment. So for me, the easiest one to start with was completely eliminating synthetic fragrances. I then moved on to my cleaning products. One way to start eliminating these toxins is to replace them as you use them, or use a once a week rule when you're out shopping or ordering your home products. You don't have to do it all at once. You can definitely take a slow approach and still make great headway with this. So however you go through your home, either, like I said, in one fell swoop or in a more methodical, slow pattern, you really are doing a tremendous thing for you and your family. I've helped many families reduce their use of toxic products and create a healthier home with one of my one-on-one consultations, and now I'm offering it in the Healthy Home Blueprint, which you can learn more about on my site, and I will talk about more here in a few weeks. And it's a great way to really get yourself going or continue on to a new level of a healthier home. So however you choose to reduce body toxins and eliminate body burden from your life, I really guarantee that you're going to be happy you started now. The way we feel is actually just so important to our health and to our quality of life. So as always, I am so thankful that you're here. I hope you're able to take at least one thing out of this video and apply it to your own life. Feel free to leave a comment below on what that is and how you're going to start reducing toxins in your own space. I am here every week, and I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel, because I will be here again next week with another Healthy House tip on creating an indoor space that truly supports your health and your wellness.